Hello and welcome back. And this time the guide is about Yuri, the big sister of the battle mates, and more specifically the SR version or the Knight tank version, however you know this version of Yuri, but is the original version of Yuri. And this time the guide about her is gonna be a little bit more complicated on the combo department, on what characters she can be played with, on what synergies she has. But let's get into it. Well, the basic things to say. I do not have her max. It's just level 50. Yeah, I have her max stars, but her art light is just 4 stars. But it's more than enough for any new players to get an idea, except on the stars. You will get them with time, but even if you have her at 3 stars, is good. Is nice. First things to see, well, we can look at her basic stats or basic attributes and know that she is basically good at everything except dealing damage, which is honestly quite good for being just an SR knight character. I would say it's probably one of the best initial tanks that you can get, unless you get something like Tank Albedo or Tank Shaltiar very early in your playthrough. But, well, accessories, you can see that I don't have her accessories maxed. I just have the level or the tier number 7 completed because in the strategies and reward you get gems when you get the character with accessories level 7. But that is enough. The skills, we're gonna take just a quick look to know what is this character about and what could be good for her. But is with exception of the passive, everything else is kind of easy to understand. The basic skill or the basic attack, just a single attack, 50% based on her damage, and another percentage based on her defense that scales the more you level up the skill. So prioritize giving her more defense than attack in this case. And when it says diff or defense, it means physical, not magical defense. I'm gonna skip the passive, I'm gonna leave it to last. Her first real skill, the responsible senior, she basically puts herself on guard. It lasts for 2 turns, and basically what it does is that any normal attack or single target attack that isn't like one of the special moves that are available in the game that can bypass shield wall support and all of that, like the SSR Antoma or Nigredo, with the exception of characters like those two, any attack that is single target that goes to any of Yuri's allies, she will get in the way and block it. Basically, she acts like a living shield. When, let's say, there's an enemy Yuri and she throws the ultimate, the impact blow, or the basic attack to one of your teammates or your other characters in the team, and Yuri has the responsible senior activated, she will get in the way, she will take the damage instead of the ally that was the original target, and then she was gonna go back to her position in the game. And that lasts for 2 rounds. When she does that, basically she reduces the damage that she takes, so she's gonna take less damage than usual or than expected. And when you have 4 and 6 stars, she basically becomes, during the responsible senior state, she becomes immune to frozen, stun, and sleep effects, as well as all the ones that we can see here on the left, which is basically stone, frozen, sleep, banish, taunt, chaos, silence, and shackle. All of those basically are immobilization statuses. There are different kinds of just a normal stun. So she will be immune to almost every control effect in the game and last for 2 turns. So she can move and protect the other allies. Now moving with the ultimate, the impact blow. She hits twice specific target does a little bit of damage based on her max attack and max defense that it scales the more you level up the skill. It has a 2-round cooldown that is a very low cooldown, I will say, for what it offers as an ultimate, and has a 100% basic chance to inflict stun for the 1 round on the enemy, and also can inflict speed down for 2 rounds when she's 5 stars. Speed down, basically you slow the target, so that specific target gains turn mirror slower than it usually will be obtaining it, so you delay the enemy's turn, or well, that specific enemy's turn. And the stun basically is that unless it gets purified by another character or something like that, when the turn of the stunned enemy comes, the enemy won't be able to do anything. Literally, it's like it loses the turn and can't do anything about it. So she basically offers with her ultimate a single target stun to anyone you want. It can be countered by things like the responsible senior, like a Yuri versus another Yuri. The one that has the responsible senior will be able to block the impact blow. So take in consideration that you need to know when the enemy can block your stun and when it cannot. And it's basic chance. That means that even when it's 100% basic chance, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna stun the enemy, because basic chance plays with effect precision and effect resistance. If, for example, an enemy has literally 100% of effect resistance and you, well, your Yuri doesn't have any effect precision, it can block the stun. Can be hit by the impact blow to hit the attack, but it will not get stunned. So that's another hint at what kind of attributes will be able, or well, will be the best to give her in the relics department. Well, now the one that was living last, the big sister of the battle mates, the passive skill. She gains an increased percentage in defense that scales the more you level it up. That is good for any tank. And basically, Yuri has, every time that she attacks, a 50% chance of having another member of the Pleiades with the highest attack on the team launching an assist. That is that the assist is the character that will help Yuri, will launch an attack with her. Like, for example, if I have Entoma on my team and Yuri, and I use Impact Blow on an enemy, if the 50% chance rolls on my favor and activates the assistant, or well, the assist, that means that Yuri is gonna do the 2-hit attack of the Impact Blow, and then Entoma is gonna attack right after Yuri, even when it's not Entoma's turn. That is what is an assist. And well, continuing with this skill, she rolls a 50% chance of having another Pleiade member assisting her in the battle, and can happen once every round. And if you have Sebas on the team, he will be the prioritized character if he is alive on the team. Even when he is not the one with the highest attack, you can have, like, for example, Solution, Narveral, Yuri on the same team, all are Pleiades, and Sebas, let's say Narveral is the one with the highest attack. Even when the skill says that it prioritizes the Pleiade with the highest attack, Sebas is gonna be the one who takes priority over Narveral, even if she has higher attack. So keep that in consideration if you want to have like a Pleiades team with Sebas, or without Sebas as well. And I'm gonna elaborate about this more in the future, like on the end of the video. But I discovered that here on the left in the Pleiades, it covers Yuri, Lupus Regina, Nave, Sisira, Entoma, Solution, Sebas, and Pestonia as the Pleiades members, even when Sebas and Pestonia are not Pleiades. But what I discovered when I was fooling around with Pleiades team is that Yuri can trigger an assist even for the SR version of the characters. Like, I thought it will only activate for this kind of characters, like the original Lupus Regina, that is this one, or the original Sisira, or the original Solution, the SR versions. But I discovered that, for example, it can also trigger an assistance for this Solution, the SSR. And I have tested it, and she can trigger everyone's everyone uh, version, like if the SR and the SSR. I thought it was only available for the SR version. The only one I haven't tested it yet is the new version of Nave, this one, the limited one. But I will test it later and see if she can be triggered to do an assist in Yuri's attack. Well, uh, I'm gonna elaborate on that later for the teams that I'm gonna recommend with Yuri, but take in consideration that even when she's an SR character and not the highest rarity, she can still be played with the highest rarity characters and have a very good performance. What else? Oh yeah, I was reading testing. Also, when the skill is level 2, the character that is doing an assist in Yuri's turn will have an increased damage or increased attack based on a certain percentage of Yuri's defense, in this case 10%. Well, now you can see what I have as the basic stats for her. Basically, she is a knight that can block the initial hits of the enemy and offers one assist per round, or the possibility of one assist per round, as well as one stun every 2 rounds. Now the important thing is, well, before the important thing, Awakening, you see I don't have anything on her. I never leveled her up in this specific part, but if you want a recommendation, I will be giving you this one, the one that I have on my tank albedo, which is HP. Fill every slot with HP. If you can find the gems that increase HP in percentage instead of flat amounts of HP, it's better. But if you want like an alternative, you can give her at the start 1 of HP, 10 defense, 10 magical defense, because Yuri scales equally with all of those. So everything will work. Now, finally, the relics. I will have 2 recommendations. The first one is the warrior set, and the second one is the champion set. The warrior set, as you can see, increases the defense and grants a percentage of damage reduction when the character is attacked and can trigger once per round. The champion set, what it does is that instead of giving you a percentage of defense increase, increases the maximum amount of HP of the character by another percentage, and instead of the damage reduction that is once per round, instead of that regenerates a certain amount of max HP after every reaction. And if you don't want any of those, the red dragon set is also good because it can reduce the cooldown of one skill when she is attacked once per round as well. But it's up to your choice, whatever you prefer on her or whatever you have, because sometimes, depending on your progress on the treasury, you can get one set easier than others. But well, now as you can see, I don't have the best relics on her because, well, before that, she is a good tank. I recommend using her on the early game, yes, but as you can see right here, she is not like my preferred tank. I have tank albedo here, Kokiotos, Shaltear, Sisira, so I have quite some tanks already. I don't need more. Even the Dead Knight is leveled up, so that's why I don't have the best relics for her. But I can give you a nice example. Like for example, right now I have the warrior set on her. The helmet is giving her 3 very useful stats and 1 that is bad for her, but this because that was my luck with the rolls. It gives her magical defense, which is good because remember she has equal scale on everything except attack, and the scale is A, it's A rating, so she basically is pretty good at everything. So giving her magical defense is good. Also she is a tank, or well, a knight. Any kind of defense is good for her. Also has an S on effect precision. That is good because the more effect precision a character has, the more likely is to inflict the debuff or the effect status on the enemy. So the more effect precision that Yuri has, the more probably that she is gonna inflict the stun on the enemy. But don't focus on just effect precision on her, like don't give her like a desolation set for the effect precision, or everything with S on there, because skills that already have 100% basic chance to inflict something, they at the most need like 30 or 40% effect precision to be able to basically guarantee that the effect status is gonna be applied on the enemy every single time. Because the majority of people that is on the multiplayer has at most 50% or 40% effect resistance on their characters, and usually are the tanks. And the stun is gonna be directed to things like healers or rangers, so they don't attack and become vulnerable and you can burst them down. But either way, well, and NPCs like Holy Ruins and so usually have like 30% effect resistance, so you don't need to focus a lot on effect precision, but like having one relic with good effect precision, like one of the 4 relics, is good. So this is also good. It has A on crit, that is critical chance. That is kind of bad because she usually is not gonna attack. Like the basic attack of her does almost nothing. It only works to try and proc the assist from one Pleiades member, and it doesn't do a lot of damage. And the ultimate also doesn't do a lot of damage, so you don't need her trying to proc a critical hit, because even if she procs a crit, it's not gonna be a lot of damage. Well, and also has an S on HP, which is very good because S is basically, well, almost combines with the A rate on health points, or well, HP that she has on their basic attributes. So that will be very helpful because you will giving her everything that she wants to scale in defense and health. So everything is equally upgraded. So she is not weak to mages or just ranges. She can tank everything equally. The next piece, it has critical damage resistance, which is good. So things like a Momon or a Metal Veil will be doing less damage to her. Magical defense and HP already said, very good on her. Critical damage, that is just my bad luck with the rolls on the relics. You can skip that one and put effect precision, for example. The weapon here, I cannot find. There it is. The weapon has more effect precision, more critical damage resistance, that is good, more crit, that is bad, and more HP, that is really really good for her. The base has more effect precision, very good amount of HP, and speed, all of those are good, and critical damage, well, skip that one. One important thing to note here before I continue with this is she has A on speed. Usually, the early game tanks have very bad speed, like B or even C on the basic attribute department. So, what does it mean? You can use her to get the first turn on the game, so you can try to make your combos or try to put a setup in your team, like starting to buff your damage dealer so you can burst the enemy, things like that. So what I will be recommending to give her in the relics will be, aside of the set, in the attributes, I will prioritize to give her first place HP, second place speed, and the third place could be either one that you want between defense, magical defense, or effect precision. But all of those things are incredible for her. HP, defense, and magical defense make her be more tanky and make her have like no real weakness. Like for example, there are tanks like Cicera that can be incredibly good against magical damage, but is kind of weak against physical damage. Well, Yuri doesn't have that weakness. She's equally resistant to everything. Speed, because she kind of like really needs the first turn, because if you have Yuri as your last character to play on a round, or your third character, well, by the time that by the time you order her to do the responsible senior skill, the second skill, it's probably that it's already too late, because the enemy will have the chance to hit your team, and she will be able to. In the third or fourth place, she won't be able to protect you or your characters. So you kind of need her in the first or second turn on your team. so prioritize to give her speed. If you don't want or you can't give her like all of the basic attributes in her relics, prioritize just HP and speed, then effect precision, so her ultimate actually stuns the enemy. And you can, in the worst case scenario, you can ignore the defense and magical defense because HP will already be enough for her to be tanky and resist all kind of damage equally. But try to give her both if you want both. So first place HP, second place speed, third place can be either defense, magical defense, or effect precision. Arc Light, well, yet try to get her Arc Light because it makes her ultimate reduce the enemy's damage for the next 2 rounds to everyone except Yuri. So you're weakening the enemy even when it's not already stunned. Even after the stun, the enemy is still weak. And if you can't give her that, try to give her any kind of the basic arc lights that make her regenerate HP when she takes certain amount of damage in a single hit. Because she's a tank, she's gonna take the heavy hits first. What else? Well, relics. Why the ones that I recommended work with her? Well, warrior works with her because she's gonna get attacked a lot. She's always gonna jump to protect her allies with the support skill, and she's gonna receive the damage. So having the possibility of having increased defense and damage reduction will be very helpful for her because it means that she's not gonna go down so easily. In the case that you want champion set instead of the warrior, because as you can see, warrior increases just the physical defense, not the magical, so it makes her, well, in this case, it makes my Yuri have more physical than magical defense when they should be equal. You want champion, so the defenses are equal and she has more HP, you can. It's also good because after her ultimate or her basic attack or after her responsible senior skill, to the one that protects the rest, she's gonna heal. So any damage that she took while doing the responsible senior support or any area of effect that the enemy started with, she's gonna try to heal it with the champion set regeneration. The red dragon is also very good because it also increases the max HP. That is very good always. And the important stuff is that it offers you a possibility that when she is hit, she can reduce one cooldown turn of one of her skills. Like for example, if you are very sure that your team is not gonna get demolished in the first turn, you can start the game with Impact Blow instead of the responsible senior. That will be the recommended strat. So you start defensively, blocking any incoming damage. But if you're very sure that you cannot get like bursted down in a single turn, or any of your characters is in danger, you can start with Impact Blow. You stun one enemy, so you take away one of their turns and reduces their damage. If you get lucky, when the enemy retaliates and throws like an area of effect attack or something similar, the red dragon set will reduce 1 round of the cooldown of Yuri. So she will be able to have her ultimate in just one more round, and you can throw another stun very easily. That could be very effective against teams that doesn't have any form of purification, that don't have like teams without healers, or teams that are based on like constant stalling, like teams like Kokyoto's team, Bleed team. Those are dependent on stalling the game, so the longer the game goes, the more bleed is gonna be stacked and the more damage is gonna have the bleed. Well, with this skill, those kind of characters will be in disadvantage because they can lose the bleed stacks, the build up will reset, and because they usually don't have a healer, they will basically lost one important turn to put bleed, and they will also be like vulnerable because with the exception of Yaldabaoth, there is no tank that works very well with the bleed team. Well, there's no bleed tank aside of Yaldabaoth, and he's kind of difficult to get, so you disrupt their entire synergy. So that's the sets. Warrior if you want her to be more tanky. Champion if you want her to regenerate after every time she's hit. And the Red Dragon if you want to play around her stun, mortal her defensive capabilities. Now, the runes, you will be able to see that I don't have the great thing. Like she's a knight, so we're in the knight category. It's only a bit of HP, magical defense, defense attack, and two mini skills. The first one, Courage Runes, deals 2.6% more damage to enemies of the countered color and takes less damage from enemies of the countering color. She cares about the second part, so the factions that she is strong against will be doing less damage to her. So it combines because she is a tank, so she lasts longer. The second one is that if HP drops below 50% after acting, instantly recovers at 10.5% of max HP. So basically, if she acts, um, let's say she has burn and shock inflicted on her by the enemy team, and the damage of those two combined drop her below 50% HP, and she does everything, like anything. She does a basic attack or an impact blow or the responsible senior, she's gonna heal because of this rune. And it's very easy to get, you just have to play like the first 5 floors of the Holy Runes, so any early game player can get that rune. What else? The teams. Since she can proc literally any Pleiades to make an assistance, well, an assist, sorry. I have been saying assistance instead of assist. Well, she can proc SSR Entoma, this one, to do the assist, but she already has a 30% assist. She has 30% assist rate, and the more stars you have on her light, is the more likely she's gonna do her assist. So you can have her, she will be very good to proc bleed on the enemy, and she's like a heavy hitter and can bypass the very skill that Yuri is all about, that is the responsible senior. This Entoma can bypass all the support, so if you are in a mirror match like Yuri against Yuri, if you have this Entoma, she is very good. Nigredo is also very good in bypassing that skill, so you can say that Nigredo kind of counters Yuri, but she is not very good on the same team because she is not a Pleiade. Tank Sisira, this one, can also be played with her because it's a Pleiade, so literally any Pleiade can be played with Yuri, but she is not the one that you're gonna have doing the assist because she has C on attack. She's a tank as well, so you will be having 2 tanks, not the best, it's not the worst. The limited Lupus Regina is one of the ones that I have seen that are the best combined with her. If you have this Lupus Regina and you have her based on high attack in and not on crit, she will be very good because anytime that she procs an assist, she will have extra damage thanks to Yuri passive. And if Lupus Regina manages to get a kill with the assist, all the bleed stacks are gonna trespass to, well, are gonna be passed to another enemy, so you don't lose the bleed stacks, and you still do damage because her attacks can proc bleed. Not only put the bleed on the enemy, but proc it before the enemy's action where it will originally be proc. And also, this Lupus Regina can extend the bleed duration. So you can have like a bleed team, for example, original Cocytus. That is this one. You can have him, the limited Lupus Regina, any healer that you want, and Yuri, or instead of any healer, another bleed team member, and Yuri. So Yuri will be proccing the Lupus Regina assistance or the assist attacks, and she can put more bleed than usual, deal more damage, and maybe even get the kills. She can also be combined with this Entoma, the SR Entoma, because she is the Pleiades original member, and she has S on attack. So if you have a full SR team of Pleiades, the 2 more likely to get the assist is Entoma or Narvarol, because they're the only 2 that have S on attack. They are the highest attack Pleiades or battle mates. So well, and she also can work in a shock team and a bleed team, Dentoma. So you can put a shock or a bleed team, put Yuri there, and she will be doing any of the players do an extra attack when the assist procs. Pestonia also fits there. She can be procced on the passive of Yuri, but it's not like the most optimal thing because she already has low attack and she's a healer. But it can be helpful if you only have two Pleiades, like Yuri and Pestonia, and the other two are from a different composition. Pestonia can silence the enemy when she attacks and can also put damage down. So even if she gets the assist proc, she's not like a waste of an extra attack. It's good. And Pestonia ultimate combined with her arc light can make Yuri have her ultimate in one turn, or well, in one turn because it reduces the cooldown by one, or if you get lucky with Pestonia percentage of cooldown reduction, she can make Yuri have her ultimate immediately. Like Yuri can ult, and when Pestonia turn comes, she ults Yuri, even if it's not for the healing and it's more for the extra turn meter. You can make Yuri have immediately another turn and her ultimate ready again, so you can have two stuns in the same turn, and all because Pestonia's arc light. I'm gonna try to showcase that later, because after this video is out, I'm gonna publish in some hours after it. After the video, I'm gonna publish like at least 2 and max 4 teams where Yuri can be played, and I'm gonna try to showcase this example where you ult one enemy with Yuri, use Pestonia ultimate on Yuri to give her another turn immediately, and hopefully get another stun, so she can literally stun twice in the same round. And not only that, but literally get extra what is called extra turn meter on Pestonia, because any extra turn meter that the original character that you're ulting doesn't need, it will go right to Pestonia, so she will get her turn faster. More characters that you can combine is this one, the other Yuri. They don't really combine very well because, well, first off, they're the same character, but you can play a counter team and put the other Yuri, like it will be SSR Yuri, the tank Kokyutos, this one, the one with the gold ornaments. You can put those two, the original Yuri, that will be 3, and any other counter member team that you want, like for example, it could be Gasev, it could be Brain, it could be Pashurian, any counter member that you want. And when Yuri attacks, she can proc her other self, the other Yuri, to attack. And when she attacks and counters, she gains a shield. So you can use the original Yuri to proc the other Yuri attacks and her other passive when she gains a shield when she attacks. You can also combine her with the original Pleiades team. That is this Lupi Regina. It's just a healer, so you won't be getting like any great benefit from her. Just gonna be like a little bit of synergy. You can also combine the original Yuri with Cicera or Shizu. If you have her in a like crit damage composition, like for example I have her with a lot of crit, you can trigger her to do the assist, and after the assist she can trigger her own passive, that is auto reload, when after every action she can get a stack of reload that basically increases her damage and increases her critical damage and critical chance with her arc light. So if you use that Yuri in a critical damage team with this Cicera and she has the highest attack, you can make Cicera build her passive faster. And her passive faster means that she's gonna have more damage on her ultimate, which is always good. You can also combine her with Solution, and Solution already has an assist rate, has naturally 20% and another percentage based on her arc light. So She's a high attack character that basically what it tries to do is take away the buff or advantages that the enemy has and do critical damage. So if Yuri procs a solution attack, she can strip the enemy from some of their buff. So you wake the enemy, you make weaker anyone you're attacking. But aside of that, you're not gaining any more synergy. It's just a little bit, but not a lot. She can also be combined with this solution, that is basically a high attack mage, that when she attacks, she makes the enemy's turn meter go back. So that will be good if you do a combination like Yuri, SSR solution, things like the original Mare, and if you have like Idol Shelter, with that you have a full team where every time they attack with their ultimate, they're gonna throw the enemy's turn meter back. So you're constantly delaying the enemy's turn, and that is very, very annoying. And any player that doesn't have like tanky characters is gonna fail in survive more than 3 rounds against that kind of team. Yuri can also be combined with Nave, this one. If you want to combine those two, you will need like a shock team, because all of her skills combine with a shock team, and when the enemy is low in HP, she basically does another attack to execute them. So a shock team will be able to be like Nave, the one that I have right now showing, the one with the cloak, Narveral, the original mate version. You can put like Estonia to heal and then Yuri, and you have a basic shock team. Or if you don't want a healer and you want to go all damage, instead of Estonia, you can put the original Lentoma. She can put shock. She guarantees shock at a high level skill of her second skill when she's like level 5 there. She has a 100% basic chance to inflict shock. So that will be able to proc Narveral captain skill, where she lowers the enemy magical defense when they have shock. And when she attacks someone with shock, she does another attack. And that combines with this Nave that does more damage to enemies with shock and does more damage if the enemy is low in HP. So you have her at the last turn to execute everyone. And Yuri combines because she can proc anyone's turn, because all of these players are all the players that I said for the shock team, Entoma, Nave, and Narveral, all have high attack. So any of those players that you have as the one with the highest attack on your team will be very helpful when Yuri procs the assist from them, because it will be another chance to inflict shock on the enemy, and that is literally extra damage on this kind of team. Or if it's Entoma, the one that procs the assist, she can put bleed, so she's putting another debuff and another form of damage on the enemy over time. So she combines with them very well, and that will be like all the basic characters that you can combine her like in the most effective way. It will be the Pleiades, like literally all Lupus Regina versions, all Cicera versions, all Solution, all Nave, and all Entoma versions. Also, it procs Sebas and makes him get his stacks fast, or faster than usual, but I don't have Sebas, so I won't be able to show that synergy. And if you don't want a Pleiades team to play with Yuri, you can go like a control team. That will be Yuri, as well as this one, the Shasurio. This is a Lizardman. It's an SR Knight, so it's not hard to get. And it's because of his skills. Specifically the Roar and Slash and the Temptation skill. The Temptation skill is the passive. It rolls every time he attacks, fixed chance to put Taunt on the enemy. Taunt is very similar to Stun, unless it gets purified by like a healer or something like that. Unless it gets purified, basically what it happens is that when the enemy with Taunt, when he gets his turn to attack, he won't be able to decide like, oh, I want to throw a basic attack or my ultimate or my special skill. No, when they have Taunt, they instantly go for a basic attack on the one that inflicted Taunt to them. So you can use Yuri to stun one enemy Shasuryu to attack another enemy, and if you put the taunt, well, that second enemy is gonna lose their turn. And Roar and Slash also has a basic chance to inflict taunt, so if you don't want to play with the temptation fixed chance where you can inflict it or you cannot inflict taunt, you can go with the ultimate to guarantee the taunt. So you will have one enemy stunned by Yuri, another enemy taunt by Shasuryu. The third member I will recommend in the control team is Saryusu. It's this one because of his skill, the Ice Burst. Basically, it puts frozen on the enemy and puts cold stacks. Frozen on the enemy is basically that the enemy gets frozen in place and loses their turn. When their turn comes, if they're frozen, they aren't able to do anything. Literally, they cannot throw a basic attack. They cannot throw any like skills. Nothing. Like they lose the turn. It's literally another form of stun. So you use this one and this guy, the more effect precision it has, the more likely it is to literally frozen entire teams. But as you can see, I don't have him with effect precision. So if you use a control team, use those two lizard men, Yuri, make sure that everyone has good effect precision, and the cold stacks that he puts when an enemy gets with when an enemy gets 3 stacks of cold, they get frozen. So you can constantly put a frozen state on the enemy. And as the fourth control kind of character that you can put, I will say Pestonia, always Pestonia. Well, not always, because not everyone has Pestonia, but if you have her, put her because she will refresh the ultimate of whoever you need. If you want another stun, well, ult Yuri. If you want another taunt, ult Shasuryu. If you want another frozen, an area of effect cold, ult Saryusu. Sometimes can be for the cooldown reduction, and other times you can ult just to give more turn meter to a certain ally so it outruns an enemy, or sometimes you can just use her ultimate for the healing. If you combine those characters with Vermare sets on some, like Pestonia and Saryusu, you literally have at least every round you will have one form of controlling the enemy, and she can also inflict a lesser form of control because she can silence the enemy. She can give a buff to an ally, so his attacks also have a chance to silence the enemy, and she can also put damage down on the enemy or attack down. Basically, lowers 20% the attack of the enemy that she inflicts the stat with. The debuff, the one with the attack down debuff will do 20% less damage for 2 rounds unless it gets purified. And silence is basically that anyone that has silence won't be able to throw any skill, just basic attacks. If you don't want Pestonia as a member of that team, you can throw something like the Platinum Armor, this one, because his ultimate will be able to throw a barrier that it will be able to stall like at least 1 round, so your other characters get their cooldowns faster. But that will be a third knight character. So I would recommend Pestonia so you have a healer. But if you don't want either a healer or a third knight on that composition, you can put something like Kokyutos. It's easy to get. It puts bleed, does area of damage, and he has bonus damage against anyone with bleed. So he will be able to combine very well with his characters because the longer the game goes, the more damage he's putting. And the stalling or the control team basically wins by uh, having long fights. If you have like more rare or expensive characters to get, like this one, Zeshi, you can also put her. She will be able to stun someone with her ultimate, thus another form of control, but also she's a ranger, so she's doing a lot of damage. You can also combine as the last one, I'm gonna say, well, the last two. One will be Albedo, normal one, because she does a lot of damage. When you give her attack and effect precision, or effect precision and critical chance, she does a lot of damage. She puts burn in the case that someone survives. she's gonna be able to burn the enemies, and literally she can chain two enemies, so one takes 35% of the damage that the other takes. So she is very good to clean entire waves of enemies. And it's very easy to level up and get because you get her on the tutorial. In case you don't want Albedo, you go with Victim. Is another character that does a lot of damage. You can build him full damage and effect precision, or full crit and effect precision. I was unlucky with my sets and I was only able to give him crit, but try to give him crit and effect precision, because on his skills, this one, the ultimate, he rolls a 50% basic chance to inflict stun on all targets. So you can have victims stunning everyone in a single turn, and you can have all your other stuns ready for the next round with the other characters. Or like you can use Yuri to stun one enemy, Shasuryu to taunt another enemy, Saryusu to taunt a third one, to taunt to frozen a third enemy, and Victim might be able to stun the last enemy, the fourth, in case you're like on arena or a special mode where it's 4v4. That will be like the characters. Ah, well, one last one. I told you it was gonna be like complicated. Nigredo. Nigredo is also one I will recommend you because of her ultimate. Her ultimate basically inflicts silence, another form of control on the enemy, and well, she gains extra crit and all of those when they have the gaze, the passive that she puts and so. But this is not about her. Uh, she combines with them because she extends the debuffs duration by one turn, so and prioritizes stun. So you can use Yuri to stun one priority target, like for example one healer, so the enemy is not able to heal, and use Nigredo to ult the enemy. The enemy is gonna be silenced, is gonna be stunned, and Nigredo is gonna extend the stun for another round. So the enemy, unless it gets purified by something or someone, it's gonna be stunned 2 turns in a row. So it's gonna lose 2 turns, and by the time that character gets their third turn, their turn number 3, sorry, I cannot speak, they are literally having their first turn of the game, where they can choose what they're gonna do, like throw an ultimate or something, because turn 1 and 2 was already lost because of the stun. So remember, Yuri can be combined with Albedo in a control team, Victim in a control team, all versions of Entoma in a Bleed or a Pleiades team, Nigredo in a control team, all versions of Cicita in a Pleiades team, all our version is just one, Seshi in a Bleed team, sorry, a Bleed no, again, Albedo in a control team, Entoma in a Bleed or a Pleiades team, Victim in a control team, Nigredo can be played in a control team with Yuri, all versions of Cicita can be played with her in a Pleiades team. Sorry for that, that sound was a bike outside of where I am. Yuri can also be combined with Seshi for a control team, where you need a ranger like as your only heavy damage dealer. You can also combine Yuri and all versions of Lupus Regina in either a Pleiades or a Bleed team. Also with Cocytus in a control team if you don't have things like Victim or Seshi. With Pestonia for a control or a Pleiades team. Also with Saryusu in a control team. Or well, the other Yuri if you want to combine her in a counter team. As well as all versions of Solution in a Pleiades team or a turn meter based team, like with Mare and Idol Shalter to delay the enemy's turn. And she can also be combined with all Nave versions, that is these 3 that I have right here, and also Shasuryu if you want a control team. Part of the counter team that I said is Gase, Brain, for example. So you have a lot from where to choose to combine her. Can be a Bleed team, that is 1, a control team, that is 2, a turn meter base team, that is 3, a Pleiades team, that is 4, And yeah, four different teams, and each team has like 8 characters to be played around. So you have literally a lot of characters that can be able to put in a combo with Yuri. So even when she is an SR character and like an early game one, she's very useful, and you can literally play her on high level or like difficult games and still be able to play her very well and get value out of her. Like for example, I'm level 161. I can, if I level her up a little bit, like just to reach like 25k power, like for example at this Kokyoto's level of power or Pandora's actor, she's gonna be able to help me a lot in things like the Holy Runes or things like the Shadow of Realms. Oh no, Realm of Shadows, sorry. I forgot the name. Yeah, Realm of Shadows. It also helps on the Holy Ruins, even on the Demonic Tower. And that, of course, the story mode, the arena, she's useful everywhere. Yuri is probably one of the most versatile characters in the game. Sorry for making this too long. I'm gonna try to publish the other teams that you can use with Yuri, the ones that I already said, in some hours or maybe tomorrow, depending if this video is uploaded like in the night. Then tomorrow, well, the next day, to the day I put this video on, I will be doing the teams. But if this video gets published on like a morning, then by the night of the same day, I will be putting the teams. So that will be all. Oh yeah, I'm gonna try the teams on a lot of things. Like I'm gonna showcase the teams on expedition mode, also in the event, the joint raid mode against Valkyrie Shaltiar, also against the bosses of the map, the Scorpion and the Dragon, the Skeleton Dragon, and also against any random team that I can find either on arena mode or on the normal map. So yeah, this is all. Thanks for watching and hearing my awful voice, as well as uh, myself stuttering or talking very bad, because I'm not very used to talk about this game on English, as it's not my main language. But I'm trying to explain it in the best way, in a way that sounds entertaining. It sounds like you can get a lot of things done with the character, and really, I try to say it in a way where you know that even when this game is kind of simple because it's just a turn-based combat game, it can be quite complex at some little things like the compositions. But well, that's all. Thanks for watching, and until the next guide.